So what high school did you go to in Virginia, Big E?
Ward. Yeah, Ward High School.
Now, is that where you ran across Mousie Jackson, or how did you meet Mousie Jackson?
Man, I met Mousie. Actually, I had to talk to him. I was like, man, I've been knowing you forever, and we're trying to figure out, because I've been knowing Mousie for a long time. And the funny thing is that I met Mousie and was knowing Mousie, and he had a cousin. And both of them was friends of mine, and I didn't even know they was cousins for a minute, because I'm hanging with them, meeting with 2 different times. But Mousie, I think me and Mousie go back since probably middle school.
Okay.
Yeah, probably middle school. So I met Mousie before high school. So I met Mousie. Mousie was living in Glen Gardens, and I was in Paul Maria. You know what I'm saying? Everybody was like, it's like right across the street, come out of my apartments or whatever, and I walk right across the street to Glen Gardens, and so that was like middle school, probably early middle school.
And what middle school was that?
Huntington. That was Huntington Middle School, downtown, Newport News, yeah.
Now this is the mid 80s, right?
Yeah. So this might be like 83 or something like that, Yeah.
Okay, now I got this question, because just like the rest of the country, obviously Newport News, which would later, because of one of our homeboys that started Crew Thick with us, named it Bad News, but this is the crack era, the drug era, and how did that affect you coming up in Newport News? And then did you get involved in the street life? How was the streets, and it affect you and your effect on the streets coming up in the 80s?
Well, yeah, coming up in the 80s, like I said, and being in Newport News, you see it all. You see it all. You know what I mean? I mean, you got, cats that's great athletes. You know what I mean? Because you got a lot of athletes that come from out of even before, the ones we know now. And then you got where you got the cats that was on the corner. You know what I'm saying? Like some of the older cats or whatever. So you saw them or whatever. You saw them. You know what I'm saying? The way they moved, the way they dressed. And and it was cool to see them. You know what I'm saying? You thought, hey man, you're looking at the clothes, looking at the cars, looking at everything, right? So with that, I was an athlete. So I was in school, so I was an athlete in school. So played football and, did indoor, outdoor track, but I was on, track and field, shot, putting a disc and all that and everything. And so after high school, I went to school. I went to college. I went to Virginia State. And so went to Virginia State for a little bit. I didn't finish. And so leaving there, coming back home, it's wide open. You know what I mean? It's wide open, And Glen Gardens had changed. Because first Glen Gardens, even like when Mousie was out there and all that, and what some knew later on, Glen Gardens was nice. It was a nice place to be at. So it was mostly like shipyard or Navy, people that was from the Navy and the military was living out there. But when probably, man, maybe a little bit before school, you know what I'm saying? Because I really won't involve like that. So probably like right me leaving. So anywhere between probably like 87, 88, went to school, did maybe about a year and a half, almost 2 years, and come back, and it was full blown. So those people that was living in Glen Gardens, that group of people weren't in there anymore. They started taking in people probably low income, Section 8 and whatsoever. So you had a different type of people that was out there, a different kind of crowd out there. and everybody was out there, was doing whatever, you know what I mean? And so coming home, trying to get a job, you know, whatever, not finding a job, whatever, hanging out, whatever and everything, and got caught up in the mix, you know, got caught up in the mix. And so that's how I got caught up, you know what I'm saying, in the street life a little bit.